Welcome. Thank you all for joining us for the State of the Manchester School District. We're so happy to have you here. As you can imagine, our chamber is very passionate about education. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Heather McGrail, the President and CEO of the Greater Manchester Chamber. And I know all of you in this room share a passion, a love, a motivation to lift up our schools. For our chamber, our mission is to bring together business and community to enhance both economic success and quality of life. And of course, this mission cannot be accomplished without strong education. And I'm sure every single one of you in this room knows of a dozen things that cannot be accomplished without strong education. It weaves into so many sectors and so many corners of our community. It's incredible. So I'm really glad to be here and to be able to collaborate with Manchester Proud, Greater Manchester Chamber, and the Manchester School District to bring this program to you today. I want to thank you all for being here as well to celebrate our commitment to education. I have to get a few things out of the way first before we hear the full update. I want to first call up a very special individual who is going to speak to us from Congressman Pappas. His name is Nelson Idahosa. Nelson, where are you? There you are. Thank you so much, Nelson.
Greetings, everyone. First, I'd like to say it's an absolute honor to be here. Unfortunately, the Congressman could not attend, but he had some words which I'd like to share with you all. He writes, "Dear friends, thank you for inviting me to this year's State of the Manchester School District. While I cannot be with you in person today, please know that my thoughts are with you as you discuss your goals for the 2025-2026 school year. As the proud product of Manchester Public Schools, I know firsthand that access to high-quality education is vital for our children and our community. Investing in education is investing in this country's future, and access to high-quality education is the cornerstone of our democracy and economy. As a representative in Congress, I'll continue to do everything I can to support our schools and our educators. Again, I'd like to thank the Manchester School District for inviting me to tonight's event. I would also like to thank Manchester Proud and the Greater Manchester Chamber of Commerce for their partnership in hosting this event. I hope you all have a productive meeting. Please do not hesitate to reach out if my office can do anything to assist. Sincerely, Chris Pappas, Member of Congress."
Thank you so much, Nelson and Congressman Pappas. I also want to thank what's that? Nobody knows. The BOOD. I would like to thank the Board of School Committee members who are here this evening. Of course, we want to thank the whole committee, but I'd like those in attendance to please stand. I know we have Mayor Rouet, and I know we have former Mayor Bob Baines in the house. Also, Leslie Want. Raise your hand, Leslie. Vice Chair Jim O'Connell, where are you? Yes. Jason Bonilla, there he is, his peace signs. Julie Turner, awesome. Jessica Spillers, and last but not least, Liz O'Neill, last standing. If we miss anybody, please forgive us. And of course, I would not be correct if I did not thank our amazing sponsors that you see on the screen here, SMMA, Consigli, and University of New Hampshire. Thank you so much for supporting this program and helping us bring it to the community. We really appreciate it. A round of applause for our sponsors. Last but not least, another thank you for taking time out of your beautiful afternoon to be here and share this with us today. I just want to set a few expectations. We are going to have a Q&A segment coming up. If you have a question that you'd like to submit, you can just raise your hand and either Holly over there or Lauren Clark or Lauren Getz on the chamber team will come by and grab an index card from you. We do need to have those questions submitted by 4:15 though, so make sure that you get your burning questions in. We do have a number of pre-submitted questions, so I can't promise that we will get to everything today. We did have a Google form that was on your registration invite that people already submitted a good number of questions, so just wanted to put that disclaimer in there, but we'll do our best. And housekeeping, exits, I think you all can note them, are on the two sides of the room, and if you need the restroom, it's downstairs over in the corner. I know, that was like a flight attendant. I don't know where that came from. And now, without further delay, I would love to call up Mayor Rouet to say a few words.
Thank you, Heather. I gotta say, I start with a bit of jealousy. I look out over the crowd and it looks like there are twice as many people here for the State of the School District than State of the City. So congratulations, Jen. The second time I'm following Jen today, too. We're gonna have to take this show on the road. But as Heather had mentioned, our schools are such an inherently important part of our city's future, and there are so many exciting things that are going on throughout the entire district that I know that Jen is going to share today. But from academics to athletics, music, and arts, our students are shining bright. They're earning top honors, setting new standards, and showing the incredible talent and spirit that exists within our community. We're seeing enrollment not just stabilize, but increase. Attendance and graduations are also on the rise, clear signs that momentum is building within our school district. Just last year, over 800 graduates crossed the stage, earning over $500,000 in scholarships. These aren't just numbers, though. They represent the determination, resilience, and excellence of our students, supported every step of the way by our faculty, our families, our parents, educators, and all of the city that comes together to support our students. There's still more work to do, but one thing is very clear. The city of Manchester, our future is bright in the kids that we are seeing across our school district. Thank you all so much for coming here. It's a distinct honor and a privilege to invite now to the stage Mr. Barry Brensinger. He's been a longtime supporter of the school district and our city's children.
Thank you, Mayor. My pleasure to be here. We entered this room at this time, briefly leaving behind a world of change. Arguably chaos, at the very least uncertainty. So I'm going to ask that we start by taking a deep breath, clearing our minds, and then refilling them with more hopeful thoughts. Thoughts of achievement, progress, pride, celebration, and gratitude. Let these thoughts set the stage for the next 45 minutes, for they embody the current state of the Manchester School District. My deeper awareness of the profound challenges and opportunities of our public schools began in 2017 with a sequence of life-changing events. Events that led me and others in our community to found Manchester Proud. And I do want to recognize at least two other founders and key strategists in Manchester Proud who are here today, Han Nidichin and Mayor Robert Baines, who were absolutely critical to the founding and development of that work. It was through the work of Manchester Proud that I first met Dr. Chmiel, who served on our community planning group along with 27 others and crafted the plan for Manchester's future of learning. A plan that was adopted by members of our Board of School Committee, thank you, and which now Superintendent Chmiel and her team most intentionally and strategically employ every day to guide and move the district forward. And make no mistake, in spite of COVID, budget cuts, turmoil at our federal Department of Education, and a seemingly endless onslaught of misguided attacks on our public schools, the Manchester School District is moving forward. Dr. Chmiel has proven to be a leader of understanding, expertise, vision, and exceptional capability. Fortuitously, She is the right person in our place at the right time. And on behalf of students present and future and a grateful community, I welcome Dr. Chmiel to the stage.
So, boy, there's a lot of faces in here today. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for being here and for your support of our district. Your interest and engagement in our work is critical to creating the best possible outcomes for our amazing students. We'll be running things a little bit differently this year. Instead of each member of our E-team taking a turn at the mic, we'll have team members around the room seated at these tables. Please feel free to pop by the tables after our presentation to meet our team members and gather any information you may need from any department. But first, I want to do a quick round of intros just so you have faces to names. Stacy, if you can stand up, you get to go first. Stacy Champy, who leads our MTSSB work, our Safe and Supportive Schools work. Joyce Lewis, our Comprehensive Director of Guidance. Amadou Hamadi, who is in Student Engagement. Matt Upton, our Legal Department and Policy. Michelle Evans, Human Resources. Miss Doherty, one of our assistant superintendents who has elementary learning and teaching and learning. We have Karen DeFrancis, who has been with the district for as long as I can remember in finance. Miss Espinola, Dr. Espinola, who has middle level learning and operations. Mr. Ryan Roth, who has, Kelly's high school learning. Ryan is middle level learning and student services. Aisha Weaver, who has joined us and is tackling the task of student services for our district. Leslie Whitney, who supports Miss Doherty in the teaching and learning department. And Miss Wendy Perrin, our multilingual learning. I have to say, this team is remarkable. We have built strong, we've built deep. If you have any questions for any member of the team, please feel free to reach out to them. So welcome back, and welcome to our Welcome Center, already turning 2 years old this year. We are most proud of this place, as it has become a beacon of support for our families and our community. A quick thank you to those of you who staff this building and serve as the first face to welcome those new to Manchester. This is my 4th State of the District. I have to say, that's a number I wasn't sure in the beginning I would get to. We're in number 4. Before I talk about the current state of our schools, I want to express my deep gratitude for all who have been involved in setting and creating our foundation, from educational programming to high-quality staffing and finishing with 21st century learning environments. You hear me talk about these 3 legs of the stool frequently, but I very much believe these are the key supports on which we are building long-term success. More on that in just a moment. But first, I'd like to do something that is admittedly just a bit out of my comfort zone. I'd like to start with a little background about my own path to this place, in this moment in our time together. I'm going to go way back in time, to a smaller me when I was a little human. You may or may not know, I am the product of 2 public school educators. My dad was a long-term principal in schools in the Midwest and then on the East, and my mom followed suit as an elementary teacher. It kind of tracks, right? Well, let me say this. Education was not my intended path. In fact, you could say public school and I had a bit of a strained relationship, and I had absolutely no intention of entering the family business. Being the principal's kid isn't all it could be cracked up to be. I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but I will say the path was not easy. You would think there would have been a natural route for me to get here. Instead, at a very early age, I was told by people in the school that I should have been able to trust that I wouldn't go to college. They told me it wasn't in my future. Don't bother to submit your highlight reels to try to play college volleyball. I was very much encouraged to find a different path. However, I did have the support of two people, my parents, who filmed and submitted my tapes, helped me make contact with colleges I was interested in, and gave me the support and guidance to navigate the application process. In this regard, I was incredibly lucky. I do not want to bank on luck for our students. I left the Midwest behind and started out fresh here in New England, largely on my own. It was precisely the reset that I needed. My career path crossed over non-educational areas, hospitality management and brain injury rehabilitation, before landing in with special education students. Suddenly, I found myself in a public school on a track that brings me here today. Fast forward, I have had the opportunity as of late to speak with some of our alumni about their time in our district. Granted, it predates the work we have done in building our current foundation, but each conversation left me thinking and wondering about their experiences and my own. That's what prompted me to have the theme that every student should be seen and valued. No student should be walking away from our schools feeling invisible or less than. Let me take a moment to commend these alumni who had the courage to share their stories with me and have gone on following some negative experiences to persevere. They went on to get their degrees, to open their own businesses. They showed determination. They have grit. A small word, grit, but a profound one in the context of meeting challenges and overcoming them. It is the key ingredient, and I believe it is a foundational piece on which we operate. I know our district has grit. It can mean different things, but I like to believe it captures exactly where we are right now. We are making measured progress in areas like graduation rates, attendance, and assessments. Despite seeing reductions to our funding supports, our students and staff are showing grit in their efforts to do more with less. But let me break down this four-letter word in the form of an acronym. Grit can also stand for gratitude, resilience, integrity, and truth. I believe these are the core components of what makes our district strong and what will help us overcome challenges and keep going. I say this often. I have deep gratitude for the support we get from our community, our families and their loved ones, business leaders, the many nonprofit and program partners who work alongside us, and our students who continue to shine brightly. When you lean into our work, it means so much. It is the fuel that keeps our team going when the going gets really tough, and I am so grateful for your support. Resilience is something many of our students already have built so deeply in their DNA. They come from many different backgrounds, many carrying burdens of challenges unique to their path. But our students are resilient and they are incredibly hardworking. We can't forget, so many also experienced remote learning during COVID. We as a district continue to work to overcome the setbacks we all faced during that time, and I am very proud of the progress being made throughout our district. The way we do this work matters. It's why leading with integrity is so critical. It is why working on improving and aligning our curriculum is so important. It is why professional development and keeping up with high standards and best practices is absolutely a priority. It's why we're working hard to improve our facilities in order to provide the best possible learning environments for our students. But integrity is also in the little things, like going the extra step to help a struggling student with extra help, or helping a teacher complete their certification requirements. It is in following the policies we all have in place in our district, all designed to boost opportunity, ensure fairness, and focus on what matters most: students, student outcomes. It means taking responsibility and requiring accountability. It means doing right by our young people every single day. The last letter of grit in my acronym is truth. For me, it's simple. It means the clear and unvarnished assessment of where we are and where we are going, the good, the bad, the successes, the areas for growth, our wins, our losses. all grounded back into student outcomes and our district mission. The more accurate we are with our story, the closer we get to our success. So speaking of truth, let's talk about those three legs of the stool: educational programming, high-quality staffing, and 21st century learning environments. When we talk about educational programming or grow our students, I want you to think about everything that connects to teaching and learning and student outcomes. It is important to note, each of our schools have a set of goals to address their ABCs: attendance, behavior, and curriculum. We know, research would support, we need and want our students in school, so as a team, we will continue to resource around improved attendance rates at our schools. And while we want to increase our attendance rates, at the same time, we're looking to reduce our behavior or conduct rates. To this end, our schools have been developing their multi-tiered systems of support, behavior, or MTSSP work to hone in on systems to reduce negative behaviors in our schools. And we end with our ABCs with curriculum. I am so happy to remind all of us that we finally have a vertically aligned curriculum with associated professional development. This year, we are excited to be providing school report cards so we can share our school community's school-specific data. These report cards will illustrate building level goals around their ABCs. Moving along to the next leg of the stool, high-quality staffing or grow our educators. We opened this year with the lowest number of vacancies in recent memory, and the team has continued to recruit and hire in the opening month and beyond. This data tells me that we have better positioned the district to be attractive to potential candidates. I'm going to couple this low vacancy rate with our very high retention rate. Our preliminary data is showing we have a retention rate of approximately 90%. I'm thrilled to know we have staff who are committed to our district, our students, our work. This data point comes into clarity when we recognize the years of service at the end of the year retiree recognitions. It is amazing to be able to read off decades and decades and decades and decades of service. For this data point, I want to thank our staff, both current and retired. The last leg of the stool focuses on bricks and mortar, along with our systems, 21st century learning environments, or grow our systems. We have a remarkable moment in our district's history to be a part of our Priority 1 Buildings project. You may have noticed Hillside and McLaughlin have very active projects underway, which include additions and renovations, with Southside and Parkside following closely behind them with their own addition and renovation projects getting underway. Priority 1 will end with the construction of our new Beach Elementary School, a model of which is in the back left corner of this room. Please take some time to look at our project updates, which are posted weekly and can be found on the Hillside and McLaughlin web pages, along with our district web page. After our Q&A session, you'll hear and see more about our Priority 1 projects. We do have a surprise for you this afternoon, and as I was reminded, we've kept this surprise pretty well contained. Sneak peek, #keep going. In addition to our Priority 1 projects, our teams have been focused on the systems, that's usually me, on the systems that support our district, from updating our operational platforms to launching an employee self-serve platform. So, I have shared with you a big picture of the three legs of the stool. Let me steal a little bit more time to give you a little more about the work that's happening within our district. MTSSB. Over the past 2 years, we have been awarded over $9.5 million in funding to build safe and supported schools. All 20 schools have teams in place to build a positive school culture, connect students to behavioral health, and proactively address school safety concerns. We have launched the first in the state dual language immersion program. We started with Spanish at Bakersville Elementary School last fall, and we have followed up with French at Weston Elementary School this fall. Our technology team has placed a high focus on two-factor authentication. We're implementing cybersecurity training district-wide, and we continue to budget for our Chromebook replacement cycle. Our work continues on building our infrastructure to best support our students and staff in the classrooms and also serve our operations. And finally, we have our new phone system in all of our schools. VoIP, or Voice over IP, this moved us away from traditional landlines to, more 21st century, of an internet-based system, all achieved through grant funding. Our HR team is incredibly proud of the work that they've actualized the goal of having a benefit administration system, which is now fully operational, providing greater efficiencies through automation of enrollment, plan updates, rate schedules, and payroll adjustments. They have created efficiencies in hiring practices and onboarding of new employees with our PowerSchool implementation last fall. As I stated earlier, we started the year with only 4 core teachers needed in our schools. At the moment, we still hover at 4, but not the same 4 when we opened in September. We still need special education teachers, nurses, bus drivers, crossing guards, and related service providers. Please keep an eye out for our campaign on WZID. In addition, we'll be hosting a job fair right here at the Welcome Center on October 7th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We hope to reach many individuals in the community who may be interested in joining us in being a member of one of our departments. For our employees, please keep an eye out for a wellness newsletter to be circulated about employee wellness coming soon. In our legal work, we have created and implemented the new student cell phone use policy and new parental engagement policy. We're restructuring our district policies in a more user-friendly format, so when you go onto our webpage, I think it's a little bit easier to find what policy you're looking for. And we've begun negotiations for a new nurses contract. Moving over to finances that run our district. We are a $270 million organization with 70% of those funds supporting salaries and benefits for our staff. 65% of our state funding is dependent on our free and reduced eligibility. We will continue to work with our staff and community partners to maximize our funding for the adequacy grant and to ensure all students have the opportunity to participate in our breakfast and lunch program. We have information on the tables around you this evening, and if you have questions, please feel free to pop by finance so we can give you information to help support students that you serve. We are fiscally responsible with every single dollar the district receives, whether through tax revenue, grants, or other resources. We were able to reduce spending in contracted services by offering a competitive salary and benefit packages for those that were looking to come on board. This year, we will be presenting a tax cap compliant budget while adding a needs budget to our presentation. This piece, a needs budget, is important because the district has faced budget reductions over the past 2 years, resulting in reducing staffing positions through attrition and clipping back growth in the middle level athletics, holding to our policy of a 1.4-mile walkout for transportation, reduced our contracted level of cleaning in our schools, reduced our supplies line, and tapped into additional use of our one-time funds. I want to remind all of us, the Manchester School District is the largest and most diverse in the state. However, we continue to sit on the very bottom of the list for per pupil spending. Our team has already started to work on the 2027 budget. We are providing monthly updates in our finance and facilities meetings. We are monitoring the Conval and Rand school funding cases, and we have open dialogue with our district and building level leaders starting last month as we gear up to face the budget build for the coming year. Our food services team serves approximately 7,000 breakfasts and lunches per day at our 20 locations. 7,000. That's a heck of a restaurant facility that we've got going. Our multilingual learner education program serves 2,500 students who represent 60 different languages. These students represent 20% of our overall student enrollment, and since 2018, we have seen an increase of over 250 multilingual learners. Our performing arts team proudly hosted the music festival on Hanover Street, celebrating the strength and vibrancy of our music program. Students had the unique opportunity to work alongside local musicians and artists, honing their skills and preparing for final performances at the Spotlight Room at the Palace Theater. Students from 4 middle schools and 3 of our high schools took center stage, showcasing their talents. We are grateful to our dedicated music educators, guest musicians, and the Palace Theater for their support. And most of all, we are incredibly proud of our students for their hard work, growth, and artistry. As we continue to track college and career readiness, a strategic plan guiding goal, our district finally got it. We've seen our increase on student achievement go from 42% up to 76% over the past 5 years. And for us to be able to mark that goal is a heck of a milestone. Key steps to achieving this growth included adding a career in college pathways position, updating course offerings, redesigning the registration timeline and process, and expanding industry-recognized credential opportunities, or IRC, resulting in an increase in student IRC participation from 60 in 2023 to 104 this past year. We have also partnered with many different community-based organizations to support college and career readiness. We are so fortunate, so many businesses such as Manchester Creates to support our students and teachers in the area of regenerative medicine and biofabrication. Speaking of our community partners, oh, you all help us in countless ways, from Manchester Proud and the Back to School event, to the Sea Science Museum, to Making It Happen, and MPEL, and all of the absolutely remarkable partners in between. Thank you. We are stronger because of your investment in our district, our staff, our families, and most importantly, our students. I had the opportunity to be a part of the City Year opening event this morning. You can see and look around this room all of those red jackets. To see the energy, hope, excitement on all of your faces this morning, and to be able to link your service as a model for others. You are remarkable examples of the best in humanity. Thank you. Our 21st Century program increased summer participation from 649 students to 897 students this past summer. That represents a 38.2% increase. We are in our second year of implementing our community schools programming. At Beach and Gosler Park, our full-service community schools are transforming these public schools into community hubs. These hubs provide comprehensive community supports ranging from academic, health, and services for students and families. These services include vision screenings, STEM classes, food assistance, family support, and adult education alongside our academic programs. Last year, we rolled out our developmentally appropriate help-seeking curriculum in all of our schools, targeting the transition years. We taught 2,660 students about recognizing feelings of worry and sadness in themselves and in others, and the importance of telling a trusted adult. As we build capacity and expertise, we will reinforce these skills with this initial cohort of students while increasing the reach to 4,700 students. Our social workers delivered winter coats to approximately 750 students across our schools this past winter. We're working with community partners now to repeat this effort again this year. We support about 6% of our students with disabilities, with disability accommodations through Section 504. This year, we will work to make those resources about Section 504 available for families on our webpage. The Office of Student Engagement is piloting 2 new initiatives in the district: the School Connect Ward Meetings and the School Connect Ward Meetings program and the Mentoring Student Ambassador program. These efforts aim to create stronger communication channels between the district and families, build trust within the community, and foster a welcoming environment where students and families feel a true sense of belonging. The programs also seek to ensure families have improved access to resources and support. Our athletics programming has been very much on the move. We are proud to celebrate the accomplishments of our student athletes who continue to demonstrate excellence, dedication, and sportsmanship across a wide range of programs and events. This past school year, students earned multiple state championships in swimming, track, field, and wrestling, with several also qualifying for national competitions in setting and breaking and blasting new records. In addition to individual achievements, one of our high school football programs reached the playoffs for the first time in nearly 2 decades, with the head coach receiving statewide recognition as the Coach of the Year. The program was further honored with the National Grant Award for its remarkable turnaround. These successes highlight not only the talent and perseverance of our student athletes, but the commitment of our coaches, our families, and the school communities in fostering excellence across our district. In late September, we hosted a school safety community forum, bringing together families and community partners. City officials from police, fire, public health, and other district departments joined district leadership to share updates on our emergency operations planning, building security, transportation safety, and communication systems. This forum provided an important opportunity for the community to hear about our emergency safety plans. This year, Student Services has launched new practices to strengthen support for students and families across the district. We serve 3,010 students, or approximately 25% of our enrollment. A little good news we just learned. 92% of our special education students who were ready to graduate at the end of last year graduated with their traditional diploma. A scaffolded child find system is ensuring earlier identification and targeted interventions, while IEPs are now more closely tied to progress monitoring and instructional adjustments. Already, referrals have decreased by 2% this fall, with projections pointing to a 5% reduction by year's end. More than 80% of students with IEPs are on track to meet their annual goals, and growth trends suggest that could actually rise to 85 to 88% by spring. In classrooms, using new scaffolding strategies, teachers reported a 20% increase in student independence with daily tasks compared to last year. To meet rising enrollment, including over 50 new special education students this year, the district has opened several new classrooms while maintaining quality supports for our students. Families are also engaging more meaningfully. 98% of parents who attended new information nights reported feeling better connected and informed, leading our student services team to expand these sessions to a quarterly schedule. Behind these efforts, educators have already completed more than 30 hours of professional learning this fall in MTSS, data analysis, and inclusive instruction, ensuring strong outcomes for our students. Together, these changes reflect a district moving forward with purpose, building momentum, and preparing every student for long-term success. The work is progressing. The positive results are coming back, which means we must keep going on our current path. Perhaps this is a little bit more of a motto than the state of our district, but I like to believe the state of our district at this time is keep going. There's a lot at stake in our city. Our district is a key component in our community's long-term health and viability. The role we play in our city's future is an important one. Obviously, we are a major building block for workforce development of our future, but it's more than that, and it requires all of us to invest in it to succeed. Healthy, thriving schools equal a healthy, thriving community. It's an ecosystem, one in which we must all contribute, because it sustains us. Our district is working hard to support that system. We need help. We can't do it alone. From budget and investments to internships and other student-centered opportunities outside of the classroom, it makes a difference in our outcomes. Our work on pathways for our students highlights our partnerships with local colleges and universities. We're making today real and relevant, connecting the dots between a young person's dreams and the growing and changing needs of a thriving community. Public education is not necessarily a given anymore. We face competition for students and families. More than ever, we must prove ourselves in our community, but more than ever, we need your support in sharing our successes, working with us on our areas for growth, adding voice to our budget process, and supporting investments in our students, and just being involved. We need your grit. As it's been said, no team ever wins a game from standing on the sidelines. So, join us. Lean in, get involved, and help us keep going. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, you want. I hate to move these beautiful flowers, but I can't see Jen, so it's kind of weird to talk to flowers. So we're entering into our Q&A session now. We did have a number of questions pre-submitted, so I'm going to read those off first. That really came from, hopefully, you all here in the audience, or at least people who submitted them online. So, first question for you, and first of all, thank you for doing this. Some of you may not realize that before Superintendent Chmiel came to town, we weren't doing State of the Manchester School District. It wasn't happening, so I forgot to say that in my opening comments. So thank you for having this direct conduit with our community. The first question that we have is, and you mentioned a bit about this during your presentation, but since the severe reduction in the requested tax cap compliant budget you and the Board of School Committee brought forward was approved by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, what are you seeing as unexpected limitations or losses from the district's day-to-day work? You referenced some of them, but can you go into a little more detail?
Sure. So I talked a little bit about staff reductions. We saw 22 reductions across our schools. It's important just to stress those were all done through attrition. And then we took a lion's share of reductions at the district level. We clipped back 8 positions at the district. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but I have to say the team at the district office is incredibly lean. You're essentially looking at them, and we run a district of about 12,000 students, 2,000 staff members, and 900 retirees. You're looking at the team who keeps that all moving. We're feeling a little bit of the pinch of some of those reductions at the district right now. We also know that we cut back on our cleaning protocols. We dropped a level. We know that we cut back on some supplies. That's a question that's coming in from some of our schools. What will that look like towards the end of the school year? So all of the choices that we made, I had presented a couple options to our Board of School Committee. We went through 2 rounds of working on the reductions. All the decisions that we made have an impact. And what we need to remember is we've been historically low funded as a district, and we've been building that foundation since I've been here. And we're just trying to protect the work that we've done, and we want to keep moving it forward.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to skip forward to a question that's very related to what you just said. Our current statewide funding system is not working and is not going to improve on its own. The state has failed to implement the state Supreme Court's fair funding mandates. New Hampshire politicians at all levels are committed to the pledge to implement no new property or sales taxes. William Loeb has been dead for 44 years, but his ideology is strangling public education in this state. What efforts is the school district making to educate parents and lobby politicians for sustainable, fair funding for our children? It's a long one.
It's okay. So our key committee in this regard is our Education Legislation Committee. That committee takes on and reviews whatever is coming up from Concord that could impact our district. At the start of the year, we prioritize, we look at how bills could be impacting both financially. We look at the impact to student learning, teacher ability to teach in their classrooms, and then we start to advocate. That committee is watching closely, as is our whole board, the outcomes of the Conbell case and the Rand case. We're looking at how those formulas might impact per pupil funding for our district. And the committee, the district team, as well as our board members, are carrying that information forward. So more to come as we keep working through that, but the best place I can key anybody into watching would be our Education Legislation Committee. We bring in speakers, we bring in resources, so that's a key place to hone in on.
And I guess knowing that there's a number of business community members here, at what point are business voices helpful in that process?
Always.
And how?
Always. So in the past, I've been more than happy to go over. We've had some working sessions where we share our budget build with the Chamber of Commerce, with business leaders. I remain open. We've done big group chats, we've done small group chats just to talk about budget and what those impacts look like for our district. So I would say keep the conversation going, keep communication open.
Okay, great, thank you. A question about financial literacy and what is the latest goals for that in the school district?
So we have a standing course within our high schools, a half credit bearing course. We also have EverFi, which is a program we've been running, and we're doing a pilot of stickball. It's important to us to make sure we have students who are leaving our schools financially literate. However, we're also looking at tools through stickball that might let us get some financial literacy or resources into the hands of our staff. So stay tuned. There's a 3-prong approach right now going with financial literacy. It's a key function. We want to make sure people are leaving our schools well equipped to take on adulting.
And if you want to know more about stickball, ask Senator D'Alessandro, I hear. Yes? Okay. This came in. Why were parents notified so late about the cockroach infestation in the school district?
Sure. So anytime we have any issue in our schools, we employ a multi-departmental team approach. We go through, we follow our process. Our schools, if they have a sighting, report into a system called Maximo. Maximo then alerts our facilities team on the city side. The city side goes through, they do their protocols to determine if it's a substantiated sighting or not. They then help determine that next step or the path. Are we moving to an outside vendor, an exterminator in this case, or do we have this controlled internally? That takes time. We also then link in the health department to bring all of those groups together to make sure we're best informed, to make sure we have the right information to give out. We don't want to give misinformation. We take our time and we do it right. So I apologize if it's a little slow, but I'd rather give good information than bad information when we go out of the gates.
Fair enough. We currently run some successful blood drives with the local area high schools, but 20% of all blood donations come from the Red Cross's partnerships with schools. Would you be willing to help encourage support a greater level of buy-in for blood drives at school?
Sure. So I can't make staff give blood, but it's a volunteer opportunity we can certainly do. And we understand, right? It's important for our community. What I would say, if the person who asked that question is in the room this afternoon, please connect with Michelle Evans, our Director of Human Resources, so we can keep that conversation going. She can be the one to ask for blood.
Have fun, Michelle. Okay. Switching gears a little bit, what role do you see for industry and nonprofit partners in helping Manchester students explore STEM careers and gain exposure to workforce skills?
I would say absolutely, early, often, any which way we can partner. The district is incredibly open to that. Jillian Corey, who's standing in that doorway over there, is working on our pathways for our students. We're thinking critically about how do we push way, way, way back to the little humans we have in our schools. How do we help them start to get sparked or encouraged to a career pathway? And what do we need to do through middle and high school to get them prepared to be ready for college, university, internships, apprenticeships, military, their own businesses? I mentioned at the city year opening this morning to our 5th graders, look around, look at those city years who are standing in those red jackets. They're a pathway. Don't miss those volunteer opportunities as well. So I think anytime we can connect, Jillian is certainly a point of contact, Ms. Doherty is a point of contact. We are eager to keep connections into our community.
Awesome. Another bit of an offbeat question for you. Has the teacher who celebrated Charlie Kirk's assassination by dancing and singing been disciplined?
So we were made aware of this allegation. When we were made aware, we did an immediate process into investigation. Unfortunately, I can't talk about that process. It's an active personnel matter at this time, but I will say this. As a district, we do not believe that violence has any part in political or social disagreement, and that's a position we'll be standing firmly on.
Okay, this one is, I'm here in support of education, hopefully you are here, whoever this was from, and workforce development. And industries are looking for students not only with technical skills, but also problem solving and collaboration skills for entering the workforce. How is the district integrating skill building into the current curriculum, and would you be open to supporting educator professional development for bringing no-cost curriculum in STEM to the district?
So again, Nicole Doherty is our point of contact. What we try to do is look at who is looking to work with our students, with our staff, and then we make sure that it hooks to the plan or path that we currently have in place. If you're interested in working with us, please see Nicole before you go. Absolutely, we're always looking for how do we connect soft skills as well as hard skills for our students as they're going out. One of the biggest points of pride is someone saying, hey, we've got your graduate, they're killing it. We want to see our students go on and be successful. I talked in my comments about a couple of alumni, to hear them talk about the path that they've been on, to hear them give their educational journey and opening new businesses, starting new careers. It's an amazing moment for us to hear them be successful, so keep connected. We'd absolutely love to have that conversation.
Okay, what happens after priority 1 in the buildings project?
Priority 2.
And what is that?
So it's a balance of our schools. We have a master plan that articulates across all of our buildings, and it kind of stepped it out. What we recognized early on and why we broke it into 2 priorities, we had Henry Wilson School that was in a state of disrepair that we could not, in good thinking, keep students connected to. We broke the plan in half. We did priority 1 and priority 2 so that we could move the Wilson students to better learning environments, which essentially just takes the whole master plan, cuts it in half, and we're working on priority 1 right now. When that one is done, we will have to go back to the Board of School Committee. We'll have the conversation. There's different options and different pathways for us in the master plan, but it's a master plan that gives us guidance. It's not the absolute roadmap, turn left, turn right, go straight. It's options that we can explore as a team.
So obviously this is a difficult climate right now. So this is a twofold question. What challenges, I know there are many, but would you see on a global scale facing public education that really keep you up at night? And then the second part is, what's the most challenging goal of yours over the next year? Whether it's in attendance, behavior, compliance, like what piece, again, which one keeps you up worrying?
So I'm going to start with the second half because I think it's an easier part of the question to articulate, and I'm probably going to make Heather cringe when I answer the first part. Graduation rate, that's where we need to start. Anyone who's an educator knows the system of backwards by design, so we figure out where do we want to be at the end, and then we daisy chain our way backwards. If we can tackle and understand truly how to keep our graduation rates going up, it's going to domino into our middle and our elementary schools. We know that we want to make sure all of our students are getting to a higher graduation rate. We also know that we've had to, in the last few years, build. We didn't have curriculum that was vertically aligned. When I came to the district in 2014, I say it all the time, I had social studies books that were missing 3 rounds of presidencies. That's tough when you're trying to get consistent instruction in a classroom. We now have those materials. We have the resources in our classrooms. We're doing the professional development that connects to those resources, and we're also dipping back to see if the instruction is working. So I think graduation rate is the part that, well, I think our whole team thinks about a lot. How do we get that number to continue to go up? We want our students to be successful, but we want them well equipped when they go out into the world. The first part of the question is a little bit more challenging. I think the hardest part for us right now is the yell first, ask a question second kind of approach that we're starting to encounter on a daily basis. We get a lot of yelling, we get some swear words launched our direction, and I think we've lost a little bit of touch of we're here to work with kids. We're here to work with those little humans to get them to be big humans who are successful out in the community. My team and I, we dig in, we push every single day. We take our responsibilities very seriously, and I can look at these 4 tables and know that these big humans are really giving their all to everything that they do in our district. So I think the hard part for me is just because you're a public educator doesn't make you an enemy. It makes you part of the process to grow small humans. And I think my biggest ask coming out of that is, please don't yell at us first. Ask a question. Don't swear at us. Talk to us like human beings. We're here to make sure we're giving that role to our kids, and we want our adults to be better than the expectations we're placing out there right now. So please be good to each other, lean in with a little bit of kindness. Grace is a word I use often. So I think that's my biggest piece.
You said I wouldn't like that, and I love that. For the record, you'll notice she said that I wouldn't like that, but I actually loved that.
Sometimes I push Heather a little bit to ask me a question that'll make me say something in a different way, so thank you.
Very welcome. What is something that would surprise us about the students in the district and the staff?
Oh my gosh, talk to them. If you see a Manchester student on the street, talk to them. Hear their stories, where they came from, what they're doing, what inspires them, what worries, what keeps them up at night. They are amazing human beings. I got to go to the gym opening over at West, and I was standing with a number of our students. And just to watch the excitement in their face to have a weight room that was designed just for them, and hear them talk about what's this going to do, what's it going to change. They've got heart, they have grit like nobody can even describe. So my challenge to all of you, keep talking to them, listen to their stories. They are absolutely amazing people.
And your staff?
Oh my gosh, can't say enough about them. I think we go through every single day, this E-team that's sitting here, our teachers, our paras, our nurses, our bus drivers, our crossing guards. It is an amazing team who shows up for kids. Do we have work to continue to do to grow our practice? Always. But we should always be growing practice. Just because I knew how to teach 10 years ago doesn't mean it's the same teaching strategy. We're pushing hard to be relevant, to be current with what best practices are today. But again, I said it in my speech, that word grit, anytime I think of our district, grit's what comes to mind.
So you have a super easy job. A breeze. I think a lot of us would love to hear what is your favorite, the best part for you, now being in the role for a hot minute, and what's the hardest part?
So the best part is when I get to escape and I get to go hang out with our students. I get to play a game, I get to do something on a recess lot. I'm an active human by nature, so when I can play a game with a student, I can race a student. That is some of my happiest moments. When I get to see kids in their element, when I get to be a part of that world, that's what is the recharge. When the days get really, really tough, sometimes I'll escape and poor Lori has to try to figure out where did she go, and I think I need her back here. More often than not, if I've escaped, it's Lori helping me get over to kids. They're the absolute best part. The hardest part, I would say, is the amount. So we have 12,000 students, 2,000 staff, we have our 900 retirees. But take our 12,000 students and think about parent-guardian arrangements. Think about extended family. Our district is large. You are looking at the team that services the district at the district level. It's a lot. It's a pace that is pretty fast-moving, and it's never dull. I talk to superintendents across the state, across the nation, and some of our incidents that we face on a daily basis are one-offs in other districts. They're things that people will never see in some of their careers, and we see them quite frequently.
And we're pretty much out of time, but I promised Jen I would hand her a really easy question, which I don't know that I've executed. So, last question, it's really important. What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
So all of them. I like a lot of them, but I'll say Rocky Road, and as that's actually coming out of my head, I'm thinking how perfect that is for the life we lead right now. It's got all different ingredients smashed in there, and it's got some surprise marshmallow that you just didn't see coming in that spoon. So Rocky Road, and I think I'll kind of keep that in the back of my head for a little bit of a tagline on my life right now.
Fair enough, and you never know what you're going to get in Rocky Road ice cream, so that seems very fitting. Thank you so much for sharing this time with us. Okay, so at this time, we're going to welcome Barry back to the stage.
Are we live? Good. There was a time not long ago when Manchester, our community, would have thought it remarkable just to have a clear vision and plan for the future of our schools. When it would have been astounding to have a board of school committee united in their commitment to teaching and learning. When we longed for strong and stable leadership in our district headquarters. When measurable progress in attendance, academic performance, and graduation seemed unattainable. And when a major investment in our facilities to support inspired learning environments and vibrant community resources was unthinkable. There was that time, and now there is today, when all of those things have either been achieved or are well underway, when we are poised to move forward to next level greatness. And now the Manchester School District is proud to unveil its surprise video, Priority One, the Priority One video, a compelling testament to the critical role 21st century learning environments play as the third leg of Dr. Chmiel's three-legged stool. Along with educational programming and high-quality staff, modernized school facilities will enable the district to stand tall, true, and strong as the seat of student success for the foreseeable future. Let's see the video.
It's incredible how many times that Manchester has reinvented itself.
It has been evolving from back in the days of textiles in our mill buildings on up to biomed today.
I have a pride in this city. It's been my home for 32 years. I've raised my family here.
The kids that go through this school, they have this sense of loyalty.
You gotta earn your place. You gotta earn that sense of respect. This was Milltown in this traditional sense. They made the bricks here, we call it Anaskeg brick red. Closing of the mills created a situation where people moved out.
Transformation in this city over the last, say, 20 years, certainly in the last 10. The investment that has been put in here by private enterprise, attracting major industries.
The city's amazing. Unfortunately, over the years, we have not invested in our school facilities at the same clip.
Manchester, sadly, has slowly become the least well-funded school system in the state of New Hampshire.
School facilities are among the most antiquated in the state.
Last school built in Manchester was 1995. We had a bunch of schools over 100 years old. The average age of our schools is 75 years. There was real need there in these buildings. They weren't large enough to accommodate the size of the populations we now had in them.
220 kids in here at this time, and it makes it obviously very loud in here.
And this is the thing everybody talks about with Beach Street is there's no windows.
Teachers that work in the basement or work in those interior classrooms, you don't know what's happening in the world around you. I mean, it's tough.
Henry Wilson Elementary School, we knew very clearly students couldn't remain any longer.
So students were here after June of 2024. That was when they moved. Literally, this area right here would have been pulled out for services. A little small partition is all that they really had.
I think about the staff who stepped up from Henry Wilson Elementary to advocate for their school to be closed. That tells me the mindset in our district is one that is focused absolutely on our kids.
Back in 2017, a bunch of local businessmen, educators got together with an interest in learning more about our schools and founded Manchester Proud. When we began, we admitted we didn't know very much about what was going on in the schools, to my shame. So we said, before we do anything, let's go through the most intensive community engagement exercise Manchester has known. Deep canvassing of all 12 wards, more than 400 events. Really make what we hoped would be the plan for the future of the schools built from the ground up with real, authentic community participation.
We developed a master plan. We know of that plan.
For our district, a master plan is our roadmap, a guide for us to use today, but in decades to come.
And so the first phase of this plan was to close Petty Wilson School, invested in modular buildings. We bought them because they have a resale value. And now our first step is to build a new Beach Street School and to renovate our 4 middle schools.
None of this comes from an increase to taxes. Our team has been very deliberate in maximizing funds that are coming in from the state. We carved out a portion of the additional adequacy that we got and earmarked those monies to go directly to a bond repayment for our Priority 1 projects.
Manchester, we are considered the economic engine for the entire state. Technology, business and professional services, also kind of that biomanufacturing. The workforce pipeline is incredibly dependent on education. You're trying to retain or attract talent.
Those people have families, or they were built families.
If the kids aren't happy in the school system and you don't feel like there's quality education there, as a parent, you're gonna leave.
In the 19th century, these companies came here because of the river and the use of aquatic power in order to drive machines. Today, the availability of human capital, of talent, is key.
People are really looking for where they want to live and finding employment second. Just thinking about Manchester on a competitive level versus other cities, we can't afford not to do this.
A healthy, thriving public school system leads to a healthy, thriving community. Our hope is that by giving this investment in, it really does give the message to our students and our staff that we value public education in the city and we really want to see students thrive.
I'm generally fiscally conservative in my life. I like to spend money wisely, but the reality is we need facilities that enable and inspire learning.
What do students need? We know education has shifted over the years.
Learning is not just cognitive, it's experiential. It's a life experience for our kids. And what does that look like?
We need the ability for students to be able to flex into whole group instruction, but then be able to get to a pull out or pull over space so they can do smaller group work or one-on-one work.
Every kid is different, so what they need is different. Classrooms would be built with purpose. Wings for grade levels, really be able to concentrate everything that a kid needs in one area.
Getting them out of a classroom, out into green space, that's incredibly important. Having space for our littles to be able to go out and run, play in a safe space.
Serendipitous opportunities for learning throughout the day.
So there's incredible work being done on career pathways, connecting students to employment opportunities that are here.
CTE, career technical education, how do we expose more and more students to that type of learning?
A literally hands-on learning for some students sticks a lot more than someone at the front of the room speak it or reading it in a book.
If a student wants to go into botany or they want to be an engineer, what do they need to do today in the classroom to prepare themselves?
Yeah, I would say to anyone on the fence about whether the plan is the right move, my first question would be, have you gone to see the schools in person? Have you taken tours? And usually they say no. If they go and do that action, they will turn around.
Change is always scary. This is a big initiative that will take all of us.
You become what you invest in. If you want good enough, you can have good enough. If we want excellent for our kids, then we have to rethink what excellent means.
We recognize that some of us used to do things with so little, right? Now we're adopting and we recognize that there were gaps in that process.
Everybody's excited.
I want to thank you for joining us as we celebrate another major milestone in our Priority 1 projects.
While many think the physical space of a learning environment is not important or as important as the engagement of a lesson, the intrigue of the curriculum, in middle school, the physical space plays just as much as an important role.
The investment of $306 million in the infrastructure of our schools is a huge step for any municipality and any city.
Thank you for helping us have access to our learning, and thank you to Dr. Chmiel for having a vision, working so hard with all community members to make this happen.
It's happening. Let's go.
It feels fabulous to be here. How many thousands of kids are going to be impacted by this moment?
When you see students start to identify, here's what the school is going to mean for us, here's what this change is going to mean, we're right on the money. Keep going, keep pushing.
Well done. This is my first time seeing this as well, and I hope all of you were as moved as I am. Let's mark this moment, this time together, in celebration of past and current successes, and let's double down. Let's double down with relentless determination to muster, as Dr. Chmiel said, the grit needed to get the job done. To, as again Dr. Chmiel said, keep going until all of the priorities are accomplished. In closing, we have one simple ask. Around the room you'll find cards and stickers. Please take them, follow the instructions, and join us at 5:15 this afternoon to launch a social media release of this Priority 1 video. Our goal is to share this across the community, and if you boost it through your networks, you'll certainly help get the job done. There are MSD team members around the room who are eager to answer any questions you may have. Finally, thank you for your time this afternoon, for your commitment to our students and schools, and for sharing our Priority 1 video. #keep going. Thank you.